Hi everybody and welcome back to Rise Up, your monthly dose of positivity, soul searching and self-improvement. I've had loads of ideas for topics that I want to talk about on Rise Up, but once again I've received another Tumblr ask that just needed to be addressed straight away. So Anonymous asked, do you have any advice for people who are feeling a bit lost right now regarding the future, university and choosing what to do with your life? Once again I found this question very relatable because I've personally been through a lot of confusion and a lot of change through my life. I've switched colleges and I've dropped out of university. I've made a lot of mistakes. And the first thing I want to say to you is that it doesn't matter, don't panic. There is so much pressure put on young people to decide what they want to do with their lives when they're still teenagers and they're still just learning about the world. It's very rare to find a person who knows from a young age exactly what they want to do, who carries on to actually do that later in their life. And it's even rarer to find someone who does that, who is actually satisfied with what they've chosen. So I wanted to share some of my own experiences and in turn talk about finding your path in life, figuring out what you want to do, and some top tips on how to conquer that feeling of being lost right now. So when I was a teenager, I had a really hard time in school. And I went to one of the top comprehensive schools in my part of London, which makes it sound like it should have been an easy ride. Unfortunately, education doesn't work that way, and people don't work that way. Just because an establishment gets the grades doesn't mean the students are happy, and even if the majority of the students are happy, it doesn't mean that you are. I felt a severe lack of guidance during my school years on where I was taking my life. I felt like a lot of the attention was going towards the kids who really acted out, and I didn't. I got good grades, I had a few friends, and I didn't get in a lot of trouble, so no one really paid attention to me at all. To the point where I stopped going to school for quite a while and no one noticed. If that's not a self-esteem killer, I don't know what is. And really, I felt the whole time like, what's the point in all of this? I just want to figure something out to do with my life where I don't have to be around other people because I like to be alone and I don't take instruction particularly well. This was the beginning of my really lost years. With my mum's help, I scraped through A-levels and I got into a college. It was an animation college and I lasted 2 or 3 months before I just ditched it completely. And it's nothing to do with not liking learning. Like, I took 12 GCSEs and the standard in the UK is 7 or 8. I really enjoy learning, I just couldn't do it, I was too lost at the time. And at that point, all I really wanted to do was to get drunk, listen to loud music, and be as far away from everyone I knew as possible. I did end up going to university. I took a film production course at the University of Worcester and I messed around there too and I ended up dropping out. At this point I was already 20 and I was starting to feel a bit past it. I saw school friends getting on with their lives, figuring everything out, graduating even in the next year. And I thought, I can't do this. I'm gonna amount to nothing. I'm going nowhere in my life. But look at me now, that obviously wasn't the case. I've always wanted to make art. I think above all else I've always known that. I've always been creative, but I've dipped my fingers in so many different ink pots that I felt like I wasn't a master of anything. It's a real blow to your confidence when you feel like you're okay at something and then you see someone else doing it and they are much better than you. The thing is, that one golden rule that you've probably heard a million times since you were young, practice makes perfect, is true. Look how far we've come literally just with this channel in the last year and a half. If you look back at our original videos, they are a long way off the standard of what we're making today. And that's in just 18 months or so. Before that, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I think I fixated on video as a medium when I was around 24, but between then and now, I didn't really do anything with it. Sasha was the first person that I worked with on this channel. I'd known her for a very long time before we even got round to this. So it's not like you have to meet someone new to achieve something. In other people around you, in your friends, you'll find that there are things that inspire you about them, things that when you get together, they create a spark. And that's probably what you meant to do. Finding your people, finding the right people for you to work with, that is important. This is what I want to do with my life. It's all I want to do with my life. But probably more importantly than that, my second point is, if you don't know what you want to do with your life, it's not important yet. You will find it in time. People get really hung up on finding the thing that they need to do. Their path, their journey, their career, a creative venture or any other thing. It doesn't easily make itself known to you. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard full-grown adults saying, I don't know what to do when I grow up. Humans are all navigators. Unfortunately, without knowing where we're heading, we're all just lost at sea. Here are some things we've got to stop thinking about if we really want to find our way. Number one is waiting for the big idea to show itself. That's the eureka moment where suddenly the world shows you where you're supposed to go. Nobody goes around saying, hey, I want to come up with a small, insignificant idea. But great ideas are not found. Innovation is not stumbled upon. They are the culmination of all of our efforts and our talents and our mistakes coming together until they land us in the right spot. Finding our path takes years and years, and if you look behind you, you'll realise you've walked miles and miles of it without even noticing. You probably won't even realise the right direction in life until you arrive there at your destination. Small and poorly formed ideas can be absolutely terrifying. I put off making this YouTube channel for years because I was worried that no one would like it. By the same merit, I put off video ideas all the time because I'm worried about exactly the same thing. But as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, and everything has to be built from the ground up. Even oak trees start as tiny seedlings, and even redwoods don't know they're going to be the tallest trees in the world, they just grow. Unfortunately, identifying which of your ideas is going to be the right one can be incredibly difficult. If you've got 5 great ideas of what you want to do with your life, you've got no idea which one of those is going to be the seedling, which one of those is going to die in the ground. My best advice here is just to follow the one that pulls at your soul the most. That's the one that you're supposed to do, that's the one that's right for you. Another thing that holds us back is not wanting to be beginners in our fields. The most important thing I can say to you about this is you don't have to be an expert to start, but you do have to start to become an expert. You have the ability to learn something new and to become a master of it. You've done it so many times. Humans are blessed with this incredible mind that can learn anything, and if you want to start something, if you want to be a master photographer, musician, scientist, you start today and you will be an expert in time. You don't start today because you're not an expert yet, and you're never going to do it. Another modern problem that can really make us feel lost is just having too much information. If you're like me, you've probably given up and Google searched what should I do with my life at some point. Or whatever you've searched for, you've come back with 20,000 pages of results. None of them any more helpful than the last, all of them contradictory, and you've come away feeling even more confused than ever before. Once again, my advice here is to follow the one thing that tugs at your heart the most. If you follow your intuition, you can narrow your focus and then find quality content, quality information based on that. The reason I'm saying don't worry so much is because it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want to do with your life right now. Whether you're school age, or you're in university, or you've just graduated, you're already working, whatever else, there's always time to turn things around and change what you're doing. You could spend 10 years studying a field, and then you could drop it like that, and you could go and study something else. You could go and be something else. For some reason, everyone seems to share this innate feeling that we're running out of time, that we're racing towards our graves, and if we don't start doing something right this second, we're never going to do it. But it's not true. There is more time. There's tomorrow, and the next day, and 10 years from now. And when you find the real thing that you should be doing with your life, it doesn't matter how much time you've wasted, how much time you've spent doing other things. You can feel as if you're completely lost for years and years to come, and you will get there. So I will give you 3 tips here. The first one is start taking action before you have a clear idea where you're heading. As I said, everything you've done in your life up until this point is already leading you along the right path. Even the bad things, even the mistakes. Secondly, accept that what you're trying to do may not be tidy enough for other people to understand it. Parents, friends, family, people who love you, they're worried that you're going to do the wrong thing with your life. Unfortunately, that can often manifest itself in discouraging you, because they'd rather you be safe than take risks that you regret later. But you've got to have faith in yourself. You've got to have faith in what your intuition tells you to do. The third thing is accept that you're going to correct your course as you go along. Back to the navigator analogy, when you're sailing, you can't sail in a straight line from point A to B. You have to navigate around obstacles and you have to work with the wind, and life is the same. Whilst you may feel like you're blowing off course, the wind is actually pushing you in the right direction, the way you need to go to move forwards. If you have no idea whatsoever what you want to do with your life, there are 2 things I would suggest. The first is that you do go to college or university and study absolutely anything that interests you. Don't worry about where it might take you. And the second is that you travel. Traveling will expand your horizons in ways that you can't even fathom before you've done it. And if nothing else, it will be an incredible life experience, and it gives you a little bit more time to work out where you want to go next. Going to college or university, of course, it is necessary if you want to do something that requires that sort of qualification, if you want to be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But for the rest of us, it's more time to figure out what you want to do. It's a chance to meet new people, have new life experiences. It's sort of an in-between phase when you're not quite a teenager but you're not quite an adult yet, where you get to learn and grow. And it doesn't have to be that expensive. Look for somewhere with a community college scheme or something like that. By that same merit, don't feel pressured about going into college if there's something else that you want to do with your life. It can be more difficult, and there's no denying that a college degree can give you a head start to other people. But you're under no obligation to go, and hundreds or maybe even thousands of successful business people and creative people didn't study at a higher education level. Finally, here are my top tips to conquer that lost feeling right now, so you can make space in your mind to be motivated and start moving forwards. Firstly, make lists. Lists are a fantastic mathematical way of working through things in your head. It gets it all out of your head so you don't feel like you're just bottling everything up. Secondly, make yourself a hot drink. I mean, it's not the be-all and end-all of problem solving, but hot liquids can be incredibly calming, and at the same time, caffeine can energize you and get you motivated. Apparently tea is better for this, but I don't really like tea and I'm a coffee addict. Coffee, hot chocolate, hot milk, all of this stuff works too. Call someone, genuinely on the phone, that you can be open with. It doesn't matter whether it's a friend or a family member, just someone you feel safe and secure and happy speaking to. Someone you can be open with and spend a long time talking to them. Catch up with them, ask them about their lives, ask them where they're going with their lives, and talk to them about how you're feeling. You'll often find that if you talk openly and honestly, you'll start talking about what you're passionate about, and that can be the first step to finding out what you want to do. Plan some things a few weeks in advance, whether it's a workout class you want to go to, or having dinner with someone, going to the cinema. Having plans for a few weeks in advance can make it feel like you have a destination, somewhere to head to, even when the rest of your life seems so confusing. Set goals. I talk about goals in the first Rise Up video, but they're just so important I had to mention it again. Setting something to work towards in any circumstance gives you a fixed point in the future that you want to get to. Having that already defines where you want your life to lead, and you'll find everything else follows. Cook yourself something from scratch that you've never made before. This one might feel a bit random, but it isn't. Cooking can be incredibly therapeutic, and by the end of it you will have learned something. Sit down, play some quiet music and enjoy the meal, and just be proud of the fact that you've done it. Practice some self-care. Again, I talked about this in a previous video, but looking after yourself, taking a long hot bath or shower, doing your hair, putting something nice on, it can make you feel a little bit more in control of yourself, and feeling in control can help you get a grip on the future. Finally, recognize and understand that no one is immune to feeling like you do right now. Whether they're 15 or 18, 25 or 50, everyone feels lost from time to time. Recognizing that you feel lost is actually a good thing. It means you're the kind of person who will pursue a better job, a better education, a better life. You're someone that will search for deeper meaning in their own life, who's always trying to improve, and that's a great quality to have. Now, as always, some recommendations. Once again, I recommend the two books from my first video, The Element by Sir Ken Robinson and The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Both are great soul-searching books that you'll really enjoy. If you're young or nostalgic for the 90s, I would recommend watching My So-Called Life, which is a single-season American TV series. It changed my perspective on things quite a lot when I was young, and it helped me find the direction that I would eventually take. But if you do feel like you're too old for that, I recommend this. Go out there and find a new hobby. Take a dance class, take a pottery class, try hiking or rock climbing. Hey, try sailing and really be a navigator. I bet there's one thing that you've always wanted to try out, but you've always put off doing for whatever reason. Give it a go. It might just be the most important thing that you ever do. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really enjoy doing these, you know that. I hope that this has helped you in some way, and I'd love to hear your stories about finding yourself and finding your path in life in the comment section below. I will be doing one of these videos the first Saturday of every month from now on out. If there's something you want me to talk about, please just do let me know. Otherwise, I'll be picking at the huge list of topics that I would like to share with you guys. Until next time, I'm Nyx, this is NyxRising Industries, and I love you.